Hello, everyone. Hello. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Design Week Philippines 2023 on the Edge, the country's festival for Filipino design and creativity. I'm Elymar Apao, founder of UX Philippines, and I will be your host and moderator for today. UX Design and AI. Design and AI is today's talk. Returning for its 12th year, Design Week Philippines invites us to explore the world through its theme, On the Edge, to push today's undercurrent of crisis against all odds towards hope, advocating for design that heals, innovates, and ultimately transforms. Design Week Philippines invites the Filipino design community to recognize design's dual potential for danger and transformation and celebrate its power and responsibility to be used for good. Before we begin, the Design Center and Design Week Philippines would like to thank the Department of Trade and Industry, our creative venue partner, our festival curator, our government partners, our official media partners, our partner events, our food and beverage partners, our design mentors, and our program partners. You see on the slides. All right, the Design Center and Design Week Philippines would like to thank our creative venue partner, the Philippine Training Center, as well as everyone watching at home on Zoom and on Facebook. Don't forget to tag us in your posts and stories with the hashtag DesignWeekPH2023 and hashtag OnTheEdge. Now, artificial intelligence is rapidly changing the world, and the design industry is no exception. In Design and AI, Design Week Philippines, along with us from UX Philippines, will explore the global and local impacts of AI on the current generation of aspiring designers. The talk will discuss how AI can be used and to create new and innovative designs, and how designers can stay ahead of the curve by embracing the benefits of AI while safeguarding the industry from also its possible dangers. Now, to help us guide through this new world of AI, we have our panel of esteemed guests, starting with our first speaker. After 5 years of working deeply with data science, our first panelist has decided to use his technical experience to double down on designing how users interact with data and AI beyond just Excel and spreadsheets and Tableau dashboards. Whether designing custom LLM products or custom data ingestion portals with data validation, this panelist believes that only data and AI designed with a human touch can truly transform and enable ordinary humans to do extraordinary things. Please welcome Andre Tan. Next, he is an IT staffer, systems administrator, evangelist, and founder of creative companies and communities. His passion for the arts, design, and creativity enabled him to master Adobe applications, to become the one and only widely disciplined and sought after resource person in the field locally and internationally. His life's work revolves around building a great creative team of Adobe certified professionals that elevates the status of Filipino creatives in the world. Co-founder of Creative Nation Academy, please welcome Rollan Bañez.
Hi. Hello.
Hey, Rollan.
Hello. Hi.
Then let me introduce you to our last speaker. She is the Customer Lifecycle Lead at Globe Telecom, where she also works as the CRM Marketing Planning and Innovations Lead, as well as CRM Marketing Agile Product Owner. Her innovation and leadership have made her an indispensable figure in customer relations management. Please welcome Marrielle Valenzuela.
Hi, morning everyone.
Hello.
Morning.
Hi guys.
Hello.
How are you? So let's start. Thank you for joining us today,
Hello.
Andre, Rollan, and Marrielle. To start, maybe can you tell us a bit about your organization, what it's all about, and what is your organization's relationships with AI? Andre?
Yeah. So hi, I'm as mentioned, I'm a UI UX analyst at Thinking Machines. So we are a data tech consultancy. So we work with companies much larger than us to help them work with their data. So how exactly they'll work with their data would also depend on the individual customer. Maybe they have a lot of data about their customers' browsing behaviors, for example. So we maybe will help them build a dashboard, but the dashboard would also need prior setup. It would need the right foundations for the data to be accessible in a very timely and sustainable manner. And our solutions also extend to not just the data platforms, the data engineering, the machine learning. There we go, machine learning, AI, data visualization, etc. So that's how, yeah, AI is one of the flavors of products that we do deliver to our clients.
Thank you, Andre. How about you, Rollan?
Yeah, great question. My name is Rollan Bañez. I head the a training institution, which is Creative Nation Academy. I also have like triple jobs, pero not triple salary, okay? Just to disclose. I'm an educator and also an IT professional. What I deal with AI on the Adobe side is that we facilitate the learning environment on how designers would embrace artificial intelligence for design, like generative AI, like Adobe Firefly, and all of the technologies that we have in the Creative Cloud suite. On the learning side of the environment, we are facilitating sessions, workshops, such as this one, to empower designers na wag silang matakot in using AI. Kasi AI is a tool to augment. It's a co-pilot. It's a superpower, actually. It's a superpower that we have to embrace. Yun.
Thanks. How about you, Marrielle?
So I work for a telco, right? And you can already imagine maraming applications yung AI for a huge company like Globe. So maybe I'd like to share two things. On a personal worker level, I already see my colleagues actually using AI for the individual tasks. Simple things, right? Can AI help me do a write-up or make a presentation? But on the larger organizations, I work for customer lifecycle management. It has a lot to do with customer touchpoints and delivering experiences, personalized experiences in those moments. And so we are now, I think, learning and adapting how might we use all of these technologies into those customer touchpoints so that we can create a more meaningful interaction with our customer. So I wouldn't say we've cracked it yet, but we're definitely learning, and it's actually exciting now to see how it will unfold in the future.
Yeah, it looks like it's a very interesting field, especially for you. Dashboards, the customer life cycle, and then now for you in the education, Rollan. No? How has AI been transforming industries, particularly in the field of design? How do you think? And then, what role do emergent technologies like AI play in innovating the field of design? Maybe you can start it off, Marrielle.
So AI, the way I see it, it's a tool that enables us to do a lot of things, particularly produce output, more, like especially now, it's already infiltrated design, right? It's allowed us to sort of democratize even designing, copywriting, for us, even decisioning sometimes, right? So it will definitely transform the creative problems that we'll have to solve. So the way I see it is, if before, say for instance, like a really badly put, no, we're thinking of how do I create, say, a design this way. Maybe in the future, it's, well, how do I use AI to refine? Or because I am freed of my time, how do I innovate more? Or how do I get more creative for the customer? Or, well, sorry, I'm speaking in, in business speak, no, but also like for us here, right? How else might we use AI to enrich the work that we do and push it further? Because I think we're at a space where we can imagine more and dream more.
I love that you said business speak, no? And then democratizing the design process. How about you, Roland? How do you think it applies based on what you're seeing?
Yeah, right now, kung narinig nyo na ba yung tinatawag nating content velocity? Okay? Content velocity is about addressing specific needs of people on specific demographic by using visual. Diba? It's one thing na hirap ang mga designers. Siyempre, gagawa ka ng design for Instagram, for portrait, at kung ano-ano. Using AI, this will enable you designers to just focus on what the message is you want, yung gusto mong sabihin. And using the tools that we have with Adobe, like the resizing, alam niya na lahat ng mga elements. It's much more intelligent for you to do the actual work, which is having the message be more inclusive, actually, kahit saan. And it impacts us in such a way na it gives us more time to ideate, to create more, sabi nga nila, creativity for all. Hashtag creativity for all. So that's one thing that AI has been doing in the design space or even in the education space. It's transforming a lot of thoughts, ideas that was not available. Actually, this was 2018 stuff. If you could recall some of my YouTube videos, I've been telling about this since 2018. And nagkaroon lang siya ng acceleration due to ChatGPT and all of these public utilized AI. So that's one thing.
So more time for creative designers, no?
Yes.
And to really. What about you, Andre? You also been in this field for a while, even before it became mainstream right now. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I think so. The way I see it is that, so if there are, imagine like if I'm gonna chart it out or graph it out, it's like we have AI, we have design. The interactions of how they interact with each other, it goes two ways. AI influences design. Design also inevitably has to influence AI. So how does AI influence design? That would be how my co-panelists have mentioned. It's really like AI is like a tool for automation. We automate the boring stuff so we can focus on the more creative, the more exciting stuff. So like, and it's not even, it's not a GPT thing. It's not a new mid-journey thing. It's been around since early as 2018 or even earlier. Fun fact, the first neural net was made when I was born. It's just, I'm not kidding, it's like 1996, Hinton already published his papers on neural nets. It's just that at that time, we didn't have the equipment to chase with the possibilities. And it's only now where our resources can match that level of what we want to do. However, I also like to emphasize the interaction from design to AI, because AI is just a tool, and how exactly we use it, that's still up to us humans and or designers.
It's interesting you said that it's now we have the tools that it's notable that there are new tools that are coming out right now. What new emerging technologies have you seen that are disrupting industries today? Let's go back to you first, and then what are the emerging technologies that are really disrupting?
I think the right answer here is AI, given the topic, given the topic of the panel. But I mean, yeah, AI is one of them. But I think at its core, it's really connected to what I said, how some of the ideas we're doing now, neural networks, you know, under the hood, it's all just statistics. It's all just math. It's really that we're in a day and age where our compute, our resources can catch up to what we want to do. So when we say AI, it's not just the actual AI. Underneath it, it's our advancements in the algorithms, etc. It's our advancements in the cloud computing, etc. It's all of those together that make AI. And when I say AI, now GPT is the easy, quick, top of mind answer to how it's disruptive. I think my co-panelists can speak more, but a quick example from me would be like how, for example, the task of sentiment analysis. Like, what if we want, given a tweet of a customer or some random person on the internet, is it positive or negative? Sounds a bit easy, right? It's not. Especially if you're in a country like the Philippines where, you know, Taglish or Becky, Jeje, or Konyo, Atenean Konyo is a dialect. But the point is that there are so many corner cases that used to be very scary for us to tackle in thinking machines. But now, yeah, let's just chuck it into GPT and it will actually give promising results. So yeah, GPT is the short answer, but there's a lot underneath that.
It's funny that you mentioned that. The first thing I tried in ChatGPT is to talk to it in Filipino, and it replied to me in Filipino, and even in various dialects of Filipino. No? Rollan, because you are been working with a lot of Adobe products and what you've been teaching a lot, I know last week Adobe showed a lot of new tools, existing emerging technologies. Can you talk more about that? And what are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, last week we, as you mentioned, kung nanonood kayo ng Adobe Max, meron ba sa inyo nanonood nun? Wala. Ayun, may isa. Yes, nag-usap kami nan. Ayan. So ganito yan, there's a lot of improvements, lalong-lalo na to automate your task. For example, resizing photos. For example, ako, wala akong tie. I can easily create that. Some of the technologies, pwede ako maglagay ng tie habang nagpe-play yung video, which is groundbreaking. Pero right now, some of the groundbreaking stuff would be on computer vision. Alam nyo naman, kung gumagamit kayo ng Midjourney, Stable Diffusion, it will be Firefly, DALL-E. That's one thing. Another thing would be very disruptive would be text to videos and other in-painting, out-painting, tsaka iba pang mga bagay na hindi ko pwedeng sabihin dahil naka-live tayo kasi magagalit sa akin si Adobe. Okay, so yun. Marami pang mga bagay. If you could just go into my head, mind-blowing.
Yeah, it's interesting what you shared. We were talking about this earlier, about the guy without a necktie, and you can magically add a necktie to that guy, and it wasn't a picture, it was actually a video. So the entire video the guy had a necktie already, so it's pretty interesting. What you, Marrielle, what are your thoughts on this?
So I am admittedly not a technology expert, but I would speak for some of the solutions designers in our team. No, I'd go to that under the hood. I'd harp on that. Kasi to power all of these AI is a lot of the back-end things we typically overlook. Data storage, data processing. How do we make transactions more efficient so that it runs? It can actually operate at a larger scale. So as these get better too, so does our ability to adapt AI in more use cases.
Yeah, it's interesting. We were talking about earlier how our call center agents would be much more efficient as they talk
right.
with their customers, right? Because of AI, you can change the language of how you talk to your customers and adjust. Pretty interesting. For Andre, your experience in thinking machines, no? How did the roles and responsibilities of designers evolve in response to the integration of AI in automation? How did your role evolve based on what you've seen so far?
Yeah, so to quickly share, like in thinking machines, so my title as announced, as mentioned a while ago, was UI UX analyst. So it's actually relatively new. So my team it was formerly like the data designers. Then we became the data viz developers. Then it became business intelligence. And now it's the data interfaces team, which sounds pretty cool if you ask me, but I'm obviously biased. But I think it also helps give the idea that we're no longer just dealing with dashboards now. Sometimes the clients might want something a lot more custom. Maybe they want a custom web app. It's not just to show information. They want some kind of workflow. They want the thing where if I upload my data, I'll see immediately if it meets the right formatting or not, if it passes data quality checks, etc. And now with the advent of GPT, like now we're making like custom GPT apps for our clients, which sounds simple at first, like, oh yeah, just plug GPT to some custom front end and call it a day. It's not necessarily just that simple. What if you're doing GPT for research, for financial investments? And about the risks of GPT already. So that would be quite dangerous if you just chuck it, vanilla. It's not going to be vanilla only. Do you even want your data to be sent to OpenAI? So there are a lot of considerations. So sorry, to summarize, it's like it changed also how designers work. Like not just our day-to-day tasks, but also what we design would also be changing. And that's what necessitated the adapting of the title and team in our company. And also, I dare say, like even other, like let's say UX designers might need more and more to be more aware about AI, GPT, etc.
Have you thought about ethical considerations, with the forefront of human-machine collaboration with regards to your particular aspect in design and technology field?
Oh yeah, definitely. So like for me, there are like two ways of framing the ethical discussion. Rather, there are two ways that it can be ethically questionable. So one is like, I'm sure a lot of the designers here, artists, etc., have heard about like Gen AI making art mid-journey, etc. It's very concerning. I myself, like for example, the other day I had to make a design in like I'm a UX designer, but the client was like, "Can you make a design for me? It's due today." I'm like, okay, I have no choice. So I did, and then a coworker of mine was like, "Oh, just use GPT. They have Dolly integration now." But I myself, as an AI data science practitioner, did not feel confident in using that because paano yung copyright? What are the images that Dolly, etc., are trained on? It's trained on, I think, 5 billion images or something from the Lion data set. But like, so that's one of the main ethical considerations. When you use those Gen AI tools, you have to be mindful. You have to keep in mind a lot of the artworks, pictures, etc., that those artworks that the model used, artists didn't opt into that. So that's a very serious consideration. The other consideration is for like the jobs. Like one of the key things that people advertise for AI, why they hype it up, is that AI will kill jobs. Like, it's gonna, because you're automating the boring stuff, but those boring stuff are real jobs for real people. So I think so. I might be talking too much, but yeah,
It's ethics. Yeah.
it's ethics. Yeah. So that's very real, and so one of the ways that people have framed it to be a win is that yes, it's so I read a book, Eat People, before. So it's like eating people as in the jobs that are redundant and automatable. So let's automate that so we enable them to do the less of the boring stuff, more of the creative work, etc. That I'm not even talking about just GPT or AI. That also applies to way back when, like when mass production just came along, industrial revolution and all that jazz. That also had the same concerns, right? I think it's valid na yes, we're equipping them to do better, more exciting, more extraordinary things, sure. But I think we have to consciously be mindful that you're still replacing, real people with real jobs.
Yeah, and a lot of art communities now online are blocking any kind of AI generated art, and even there was a story about photograph that won a contest, but it was AI generated. It was very controversial. Let's jump over to Marrielle. Marrielle, with your work in the telecom company, what role does AI play in connecting with your clients and customers?
Okay. Let me think of how to what I can share.
Whatever
No,
is
just
possible
kidding.
to share.
So when you think about how we engage with the customers, what I always go back to is that it's a conversation. And when it's a conversation, it's two-way, right? On one hand, it's the ability to make a person you're talking to feel listened to and heard. On the other, it's your ability to follow through on what you've promised, to make the person feel like, well, I'm giving you feedback, you're talking to someone. And it's easy to imagine this when it's an actual one-to-one conversation. Like in telco in particular, when you have a customer agent, like you're talking to solve your problems for you. With AI, like how I can imagine it in the future is maybe we can use the technologies in AI to kind of replicate those meaningful conversations on a larger scale, because it's impossible to service everyone on a one-to-one customer agent, right? People will always need help with their service. And so AI is one way in which we can have more meaningful conversations at scale. Of course, it's going to be an iterative process, right? Because it's a little intimidating to do self-service. Or like even chat GPT is sometimes intimidating. So the challenge then, it becomes like, how do we make those interactions a little more conversational, a little more relatable, so that people will be less intimidated to use those channels for themselves, and that will be able to really reach and help a wider audience.
I love your idea of meaningful conversations at scale. So
Yeah.
maybe AI can do help that. How do you think emerging technologies like AI can create more equitable opportunities for everyone?
This is a little more ethical question na rin,
Yes,
no?
let's talk about ethics on your end.
Yeah. So technology, diba, at the heart of it, and my personal point of view, is that it should be human-centered. It should be solving human problems. And so when we imagine AI, of course, there's always that danger of, replacing jobs and maybe displacing some people. But the other side of the picture is the ability to be more inclusive. Diba? Kasi now, if we're able to, say, my example a while ago is have more meaningful conversations at scale. Can you imagine this in more applications for the common good? For instance, can it be used to help us get more people to learn? Like people who don't have access to schools, if they have access to an internet with AI, can we imagine a future that we can reach more people that way? Healthcare. I know this is another one of those gray areas, right? But can you imagine, maybe not yung special, like kahit yung urgent care type, people who need guidance on like what to do when their son or daughter has fever and they don't know, they don't have a doctor they can talk to. What's immediate information they can get? And because AI nga has that ability to create sort of like a meaningful conversation where you can ask and you can get relevant answers, then that's also a use case for like equitable opportunities, equitable access. And hopefully, because also actually the last point nga on that is, if people are also freed of, the quote-unquote boring stuff, the output stuff, can we spend more time thinking of applications for the common good?
That's very good. Huh? After the automating the boring stuff, how do we get to the next level now, the human element, the human aspect of it? For Rollan, let's jump over to you. How can we ensure the emergence of AI does not stifle human creativity and innovation? Won't people just rely on AI for all your creative stuff?
There will be a tendency to have that. I always think about intention of building something for a specific model. If you could easily check things that we have been doing throughout the past, like millennia, meron ba sa inyo nakakalala ng mga ice cutters? Wala. It's a job, diba? Computers, it's people. Before, there will be time that change is inevitable. Kung nabasa niyo yung World Economic Forum 2023 report, 26% of the workforce will be replaced by new technologies. And together with that, we have to adapt. Paano ko nasabi na kailangan natin mag-adapt? I myself, if I don't adapt, I would be stuck on a small cubicle way back before in the 20th century. Ganun. Way back in 2000. So you have to really adapt on certain things that will also be like equitable for you. Another thing is that when we deal with ethics, we also have to put the human touch or yung pinaka-empathy natin. In Adobe, we always do, sabi nga nila, it's protecting the creatives that we have. If you know, yung ginagawa namin sa Adobe Firefly is that all of our data sets is based from Adobe stock, on which binabayaran namin lahat ng mga assets na nandoon. So hindi namin ini-script yung internet at kinukuha namin lahat ng mga pictures nyo, hindi. That's one thing. And another thing is, another initiative that we're doing is kung narinig nyo na, it's the Content Authenticity Initiative, o CAI. You should check it out. Kasi this one is a project that we made together with Adobe and other key players from camera industry to automotive. Alam nyo kung ginagawa nila? Lahat ng ginagawa nyo using Adobe products is that it is tagged with specific information. Tapos, lahat ng standard na yon is nilalagyan nila ng watermark para to ensure that your authentic creation is being copyrighted with your intention actually. Yun. So, yun yung isa sa mga tignan natin. By using that technology, although wala pa masyadong gumagamit ngayon dito sa atin sa Philippines, pero you should definitely check it out.
What about how do people upskill now? What kind of educational initiatives now are needed for upskilling? Do you think people need?
Yeah, we should always be embracing new technologies with an open mind or growth mindset. Paano natin magagawa yon? We should try it out. For example, try it out. Use Firefly, use any image generator model, but be mindful of how can this be beneficial to me on what I do, anong work na ginagawa ko, at kung ano yung magiging implications niya with others, as you would see, ako ginagawa ko yan with my every session that I do. Lagi kong sinasabi, may trabaho pa rin kayo. May trabaho pa rin kayo.
Talaga.
Kasi it always involves the human touch. Sabi nga nila, ayoko sabihin na boring stuff eh. I always say it's repetitive. Diba? Kasi alam nyo naman, ang repetitive stuff is that you have machines that would do it. Pero the creative stuff, it should not be taken away from you.
All right. So I've got a question for all three of you now. How can we turn AI hesitation to AI enthusiasm to the general public?
So it's a lot of mindset shift, right? That's a good first step,
Yes.
actually. Just try it out.
Try it out.
Yeah, and you'll see how much fun you can have with it. But also, when we think of AI and the reason why it's important to engage people, this is actually a really good forum, no? To talk about what it could be, what it is now for us. And when we approach those conversations, I think kailangan may curiosity. And so it's hard, of course, like especially if you're talking to someone who's not really open. It's more of an invitation to be curious with you on what it can be. And that whole, parang my analogy nga is like, remember before when internet was new?
Yeah.
Tapos, di ba? Long time ago, dial-up pa, mabagal pa.
Netscape Navigator.
But people would be curious together as to like, what can we do with this? So if we apply the same curiosity with others too, on what else can we do with AI, then maybe people would be more open to trying it out as well.
What about you, Andre? What do you think? How do you think we can empower individuals with the advent of emerging technologies like AI?
I think my co-panelists have nailed it. It's like trying it out yourself, and also like some education essentially, or enablement. Like for example, like let's say the risks of using it. In fact, like the trying out part, it was much accelerated by GPT, Midjourney, etc. All the recent technologies. Like, isn't it already trending? Yung like you upload your photo or something, then it gives you the yearbook photo. It's scary. And let me tell you why it's scary. It's because you're giving your photos to some entity, right? I myself, I have to be honest, I haven't looked too much into it, but it's not the first time this is happening. Like an adage is that like, well, if the product is free, you're the product, right? So that's pretty much a risk. So many people have used that yearbook app thing without even thinking, is this safe? Do I want my image online? Not just, I mean, it's already online, but I'm giving it specifically to some company or entity, etc. So I think that's an importance with education also. It's not just the, yeah, this is fun, this is cool, this is helpful, but the education, the deliberate education will also help with informing people of the risks.
So if I can just add on to that, because I realize I'm talking to designers here. When we think of allowing access to AI or making it less intimidating or in accelerating adoption, it's also thinking about a design principle, right? You think of the journey to get there. And so reflecting on what are the steps or what are the pain points in adoption and how might we play a role in those if it's something that we really want to advocate for.
All right, so try it out, basically. If you want, just explore, learn by yourself, and even explore the potential dangers that might encounter, you might feel there. All right, so thanks. Did you want to add something? Alan?
Yeah, okay. This question is direct from the heart. I'm always doing this through sessions that I do in my YouTube channel. Kunwari may konting promotion. I do have a YouTube channel. And lagi namin ginagawa yan to open the conversation such as this one to have like this growth mindset. Just try it and also be very careful and very intentional of what you're doing with those data. Another thing is that please be guided kung ano yung ethics na, and also check kung sino yung source. Actually, yun yung kailangan tignan when you are generating stuff on the internet, especially with a lot of image generators right now, yung nabanggit kanina, yung Lion 5, at kung ano-ano pa. That's why you have to be very vigilant on what you do, especially with these types of technology.
Yeah, we were just talking earlier about when I was looking for information about you and Bard AI. They talked about different things. They were saying you were working at Google. So it's be very, maybe it's predicting.
Thanks,
So very, so explore it,
Thanks,
but also be very careful and be very aware of the dangers of
Can
AI.
I add a quick thought?
Go ahead.
I think it hasn't been mentioned much, but there's also, like, you as an individual can do a lot, but only so much. I'm thinking of like especially like the ethical risks, etc. So I think it's important to also have some governance about it. So specifically, I'm thinking of like in the U.S., for example. I think the federal court just ruled, I think just last August, na AI generated art is not copyrightable, or something like that. They had some progress also in what if a company trained an AI model on dangerous content. It's not dangerous content as in PII or very personal images without the consent of the user. So the court ruled that we should not just destroy the images. Like, sure, maybe the company disposes of the images, but how about that AI model? How about the algorithms that they use? So that court ruling decided, nope, we go with algorithmic destruction, I believe was their term. Essentially, not just the data. No, you get rid of your model, everything. Yeah. And I think the important thought there is that we're all still learning how to handle these new technologies, even the governments, good or bad. So, like in this case, in the US, like they're also still learning, but they're adapting pretty well. And I think that's an important dimension also to not to forget.
Yeah, I would like to add on that kasi sa US they have these types of findings. Pero sa Japan, iba yung findings sila. They are into giving copyright for those types of images. So iba yan eh. So you have to check within the country that you are targeting or you're serving kung ano yung internal policy nila. Right now nga sa Japan, iba yung pagkakaisip nila. And even in the EU, they don't have like a set in stone na standards as of the moment. They are still deliberating on some things kung ano yung pwede at kung hindi.
Yeah, so really study about AI, the emerging technology, because it's moving so fast that the countries are still just adapting to it. And It can be both an opportunity and a threat. So being just aware of that is already a big deal. Just as a first step, in learning about AI. So that concludes our roundtable. Thank you for our incredible panelists for sharing with us their thoughts on design and AI. Now, let's time for Q&A. Our team has been compiling your questions behind the scenes. Hopefully, you'll get your questions answered by the members of our panel. Yeah, we have. Would you like to? Does anyone in the group would like to ask a question? We have a nice orange thing there that you can have and ask away. Anybody have a question for the group? We have one question over there, and he's going to toss that, and you catch it. Please catch. Pass the ball. Pass the orange thing. Go ahead.
Hello. Ayan.
Go ahead.
Good morning. As a student, I'd like to ask, what are your insights on AI being used for students, and should our current education system adapt to the AI, emergence of AI?
Very good question. Marrielle, what's your take on this? You were smiling.
Yeah, it's for sure the education system should adapt. Realistically, change takes a while, especially for institutions that are very well established. But I'm glad you brought up that question because it probably matters to you too, right? Because it's inevitable. Dealing with AI and dealing with change, and our education system should be able to develop the critical skills needed to adapt and the critical mindsets, including that curiosity to try, that mindset to learn, to fail, to try again, the ethics behind it, right? The values also being imparted among students is important as we navigate what AI could be in the future. So I think even at a smaller scale, when we take up courses maybe in IT, then that should be part of the topics we discuss, right? Because isn't our schools the best place to have the conversations that we need to have? Yeah.
Very good question. Would you like to add anything?
Yeah. We should open it to our schools, lalong-lalo na those who are very hesitant on using AI because gagawin din naman nila yan. Alam naman natin ang buhay ay open book. Except, for example, if you're doing exams na meron kayong specific rules, hindi nyo siya pwedeng gamitin. Another thing is that AI in the education sector is seen on the negative side. Lagi nilang iniisip, this will enable students to do cheating, to do a lot of plagiarist work. But actually, if you flip the coin and see it on a bigger, brighter light, it will enable students to also have the utility of asking critical questions. For example, me, someone who's been self-studying since Netscape Navigator, or Mosaic. Anyone in the room? Okay, I'm a dinosaur. Okay, so this will open a lot of conversations. Critical thinking, the process, the main process that we have to undergo first is that we have to equip our teachers, the faculty, the whole organization before we trickle down into the students itself. Kasi if your management doesn't approve AI, the use of it, the utility of it, kahit na gaano kaganda yung AI, it won't be that useful together with the intention.
Go ahead. You want to add anything, Andre?
Oh yeah, sorry, just a quick one, but I'd like to venture to even say it's already here. Students are already using it in their essays, etc. I was talking to a random teacher in some event before, and they were like, I don't like you because you do AI. You are causing me a lot of problems. Because her students were already using it for their work. But I think a really nice solution, a nice middle ground, building up on what my co-panelists have also said, is I think it was just a Facebook post that I saw, or maybe it was a screen cap from LinkedIn, but the teacher, essentially, high school teacher, Instead of saying, write this essay, she actually deliberately, you may use ChatGPT to help you build your outline of your paper and then use that as a starting ground. So in my opinion, she really, understood enough about GPT, what it can and cannot do, and then embraced it. Like, yes, I will use this also as a tool to educate my students because I might not be able to stop them from using GPT to begin with.
Nice, nice. So yeah, I hope that answers your question and a lot of things that are happening in education right now. Use it as a coach. I actually use ChatGPT to learn Japanese, so you can do that as a coach. Use it to learn as a.
I would like to also add on that because using AI right now together with like students who are somehow saying that they learn the content, but I think we should also get back to the roots of what we do as a teacher to evaluate the students. Di ba? Minsan sinasabi natin, pinasa na natin yung pinaka-paperwork. Pero kapag tinanong mo siya, doon tayo nagkakaroon ng problema eh. Di ba? The authentic self of raising the questions in an interactive manner. This will also raise the awareness na, kailangan kong aralin to sa totoo lang. Kasi pag umasa lang ako sa AI, at pinasa ko yung papel, I'm just faking it. Let's go back to the traditional way of evaluating students, although it's a bit late, Bruce, pero it gives you authenticity.
And there's also value to verbalization. Yes. Although you use ChatGPT, I think a couple of schools do this, there's oral exams, they ask you to explain. So imagine if you relied on ChatGPT and they asked you to explain what did you write about in your essay. That's another interesting thing to practice on.
Yeah, even if the students use GPT, like they may write out the content, but they lose out on the important skill of critical thinking. That was emphasized by that teacher I talked to before. It's really the critical thinking. Yun yung nawawala.
All right. Do we have another question? Do you have another question? Right. In that case, if we're good, I think, and that's it. Let's give a round of applause to our speakers, and thank you for everyone who's been watching and listening to our talk on design and AI. We value your feedback. Please take time to let us know what you thought of this roundtable by scanning the QR code and completing the feedback form. So please do scan the QR code. Put your feedback here. Seconds there. Take a picture, scan it, give your feedback. Really important. And then on behalf of the Design Week team, I would like to thank our partners, the Department of Trade and Industry, our creative venue partner, our festival curator, our government partners, our official media partners, our partner events, our food and beverage partners, our design mentors, and our program partners. Okay, and thank you that they just got started. Enjoy your last day of Design Week Philippines with our lineup of talks, workshops, tours, and more. To learn more about the festival and to get updates on all things Design Week Philippines, head on over to the Design Center's social media accounts, DTI Design Center of the Philippines and Design Week Philippines on Facebook, and DTI.DesignCenterPH on Instagram. And then remember to tag us on your posts and stories with the hashtag Design Week PH 2023 and hashtag On The Edge. And again, this has been your host today, Elymar Apao, and this has been Design and AI. Thank you.
Thank you.